Hi, thanks for tuning in and catching up on our Growing Faithful Family 11th grade sectional, which we titled Keeping God in Your Relationships. So you're either watching this video to remember what you saw in the class, perhaps, or revisit the video with your son or daughter, or accessing the other videos that we did not show during the sectional. So glad that you're coming back and following up with that, and God's blessings on that for sure. Or if you weren't able to make the sectional, this is a great opportunity for you to get plugged in with this 11th grade Keeping God in Your Relationship review, or to do that as a help. So again, this is not designed to supplant you as a parent in teaching your child what it means to be in relationships with other people. This is just meant for us to kind of give you a little bit of help, walk alongside of you as we're trying to help shape our students, your sons and daughters, in a healthy relationship centered in on God's Word and what that's all about. So, included in this particular sectional, we have two different main video sources. So there's 4 from the Faith Legacy series, which is really a great overview, a broad view of relationships in general, whether those are relationships with friends, family, and then eventually moving on to dating and those types of things. And then the other sectional that I wanted to share with you is a personal friend, Brandon Metcalf. He went to school with some of my kids, which is pretty cool. But he was a presenter at the National Youth Gathering, and really helps students to kind of see their value, especially their value in God's eyes, and just to making sure they're balancing that with the way that the world sees things too. So his title of his sectional is Worth Dying For. And that again is broken into 4 different segments. So attached in this same YouTube section, you're going to have 4 different sectionals, one from the Faith Legacy, and then one also from Brandon Metcalf's presentation at the National Youth Gathering. And each of those sectionals has a Bible study or questions that you can go through and answer after you get done doing those. Now, of course, in the class, when we did this, we watched a couple of these videos and then we talked about them individually. Now, this particular sectional is really designed for you to be with your family units in discussion with the material that you would be seeing. So you have that perfect opportunity to follow up with that at your home with your child as you work through those sort of things. Because they're benefiting for both the child and also for the parent in understanding how you can support that sort of thing. All right, so again, I invite you to go ahead and through these videos, to watch them individually and then fill out the study sheets. That would be good. Now, just a little bit precursor to the Worth Dying For, the one that Brandon Metcalf was presenting. I, in the past, had taken students through this particular book. It was by Neil Clark Warren, who's a PhD, and his book's called Date or Soulmate, and it's how to know if someone is worth pursuing in 2 dates or less. The thing that I used to love about this particular book with the students is it really helps them to understand or identify top 10s. And again, this is real specific to dating. The other sectionals are not necessarily that focused in on it. But I wanted to share this with you because I think that this had been very helpful for several of our high school students when I would take them through this. We would go through it about once every 4 years. Some of the kids would hit it as freshmen. Some of them would have to hit it as they were seniors. But it was a really good design because it helped them break down 10 must-haves and 10 can't-stands, which helps them to eliminate a future spouse. So the premise behind the book, obviously, is if you're dating, the only reason you date is because you're looking for someone that you want to spend the rest of your life with. So again, I'm not encouraging that type of behavior as a freshman. And I also include that with the kids at that point too. But it was also just a very helpful skill set for them. And of course, as their pastor, I always said that their number one must-haves is that their person that they're dating or their future spouse would be Christian, if not a Lutheran Christian just because of the importance of having a similar faith foundation. I always would also make sure that the kids knew that they were not to go on eharmony.com without the permission of their parents. Of course, high school kids do not need to be on dating websites anyway. But on the other side of it, currently, even right now, I'm working with a couple, and that's how they met, was online through a dating app. And that's becoming a little bit more prevalent, and it really is actually helpful in the sense that you have similar likes in sort of the same foundation of what this book would bring there, that you have similar interests in that regard. But again, that's for a later date and a later time. Again, thank you for tuning in. I wanted to kind of keep this part brief, encourage you to go through those videos and then work through those with your son or daughter. And then also, if you haven't already, make sure you pick up the clip. It's like a climbing clip. The first video you're going to see where that comes from. It's talking about climbing Mount Everest. And the point is that in relationships with you and your child, son or daughter, is that the analogy of how you're climbing this together is an important one, especially when it comes to our faith with our kids. So I encourage you to watch these videos and also just continue to keep you guys in my prayers as you continue to do the best that you can for your child in bringing them up in the way that they should go, as the Proverbs would say. So thanks for tuning in.